Hello everybody and welcome back to Total War Rome 2 Mods Weekly, the series where we go over some of the best mods available for Rome 2, both new and old. Today we've got 8 mods for you to check out and potentially add to your load order, including a massive reskin featuring assets from none other than Total War Arena. There's a lot to go over here, so a like on the video would of course really help me out, and let's begin. UI mods are a great way to freshen up your game after spending hundreds of hours staring at the vanilla UI, and that's exactly what Classic UI does. It's a fairly understated reskin that shades the game's tooltips in a deep Roman red and accents them with a white marble texture. It looks really good if you ask me, especially when playing as Rome or the Hellenic factions. Pair it with the mod Red and White Buttons Vanilla for an even better look. Like, this looks so much better than the default futuristic UI that they were going for with vanilla. I don't know, I really just don't like Rome 2's vanilla UI. Love the game, hate the UI. Next up we have Generals on Foot. This mod prevents both the player and the AI from recruiting mounted generals in the campaign. Now why would you want this mod? Well, it's essentially a workaround for a vanilla bug. You see, when you're defending a minor settlement in vanilla, the AI suicides its mounted units by sending them in first ahead of their primary force. Classic Total War. This results in an unfair advantage for us players. Generals on Foot works around this bug by forcing almost every faction, except for the Eastern and Nomadic ones, to use infantry generals instead of mounted ones. It's not an ideal solution, obviously, but it accomplishes the goal of preventing the AI from suiciding its leaders into your defensive positions, so there's that. The mod author is also working to make it compatible with popular unit mods, such as Sebity's Unit Roster Overhaul, which just so happens to be one of my favorite mods for Rome 2. Next up we have Modern Font. I've never liked the default font in Rome 2. It's blurry and can be tough to read. Modern Font replaces Rome 2's font with a modern sans serif one that's much easier on the eyes. If you feel this font is too modern for your tastes though, then the author has you covered. He's got 3 other font mods you can choose from: Better Font, Classic Font, and Ancient Font. No matter which one of these that you choose, they're all bolder and easier to read than the vanilla font, so you really can't go wrong no matter which one you pick. They're also save game compatible, so you can add or remove them at any time during your campaigns until you find one that you like. SANITATION Province-Wide is another quality of life mod that never leaves my load order whenever I'm playing Empire Divided. In vanilla, the public bath buildings are essentially pointless to build because the bonuses the baths offer aren't worth the cost of the building slots they take up. Empire Divided added in squalor and sanitation, but once again, the public bath buildings weren't worth building because religious temples offer better bonuses, including sanitation. This mod makes public bath buildings finally worth building by making the sanitation that they provide apply to all regions in the province instead of just the provincial capital. This is also how baths work in Total War Attila, and it's such a no-brainer that it really should just be a base game feature. Definitely give this one a go the next time you fire up an Empire Divided playthrough. When the Emperor Edition update arrived back in 2014, Creative Assembly overhauled the aesthetic of the game. The UI changed, the color scheme changed, and it changed all of the faction icons and uniform colors to more muted, less saturated versions of themselves. Now some people liked this change. It's a little bit more realistic, I admit, but I preferred the old, bright colors. In vanilla, Egypt and Athens, they share like nearly identical color schemes, so it can be tough to differentiate between them on the campaign map. The old colors were reminiscent of Total War Rome 1, which also had bright icons and uniforms. Classic faction colors reverts the faction icons and uniforms to their pre-Emperor Edition versions. So blue and gold Egypt, yellow and black Pontus, and white and green Carthage are back in their deeply saturated glory. Believe it or not, Total War Arena still exists. I played it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and while it wasn't my cup of tea, some of the units in the game look really cool. Imagine then how cool it was to find the Total War Arena reskin mod on the workshop. This mod reskins and renames a ton of units to look like their arena counterparts, and by a ton, I mean 555. It includes models ripped straight out of Arena itself, and the units look great. Like, they stick out on the battlefield, don't get me wrong, but not so much in a way that they clash with the vanilla units. There are a few bugs here and there, such as the occasional Rayman Hands Cavalry, but otherwise, I didn't experience any issues running this mod alongside a dozen other ones. I even ran it alongside vanilla reskin overhaul by having the arena reskin mod load above it, and it worked great. It's surprising how awesome some of the units we've grown so used to over the years can look with this arena makeover. Some standouts include Spartan Hoplites, Thoreo Spears, and Galatian Noblemen. This is one of those mods that's definitely worth trying at least once, and when I tried it out, I knew I had to feature it here on the channel. Last but not least, we have AETERNA Troy Music Pack, which replaces Rome 2's soundtrack with the one from Total War Saga Troy. If I could describe the soundtrack in one word, it would be ethereal. Props to composer Richard Beto and his colleagues for creating a soundscape that feels perfectly fitting for the semi-mythical Bronze Age setting of Troy. He's been getting better and better ever since Empire Total War, and honestly, I really enjoy this soundtrack in Rome 2. Like, it fits Rise of the Republic, Wrath of Sparta, and the Grand Campaign better than you might think. It kind of pulls you into that ancient, mysterious feeling of classical antiquity. Just take a listen for yourself, and let me know down below if you feel like it fits Rome 2.
Our general is under attack!
Hastati! Attack their positions! Infantry, ready! For the people of Carthage!
That's all for this episode of Rome 2 Mods Weekly. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to try these mods out for yourself, the links are in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, consider dropping a like, and let me know down below which mods you'd like to see featured on the channel. Subscribe for more Total War Rome 2 mod content just like this, and on your screen right now is the Mods Weekly playlist where you can find overviews of dozens of great Rome 2 mods. Take care everyone, thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers, and I'll see you all in the next one.